In this video, I want to talk about, I want to talk to myself about what it means to be a trader. I've been doing this now for almost 3 years, and success is here and success is there, loss is there, and it comes and goes, and I'm really not seeing any significant progress in terms of results, but I do feel I've been gaining a lot of knowledge, and I now need to bring it all together. And so, in the process of bringing it all together, I want to go back to something that's really simple, and it's a concept that I should have cemented in myself a long time ago, and really make it part of me, make it second nature, even my instinctual habits. And unless I can make this my instinctual habit, um, sustained success is not going to be with me. So one of the things I want to talk about, and dedicate this video to it, is a principle of trading. And a principle of trading is I don't know where price will go. Now, I think that's a pretty significant statement to make as a trader, because I would think that because I'm here and I've been trading for so long and I'm choosing to do this as a job and as something that I want to do every day, day in, day out, then therefore I should know where price will go. But what I've come to learn is that I don't know where price will go. And what I've started to realize now, if I can start with that premise, I could now, I think I could position myself to be more successful at trading in terms of by the end of the day, by the end of the week, by the end of the month, by the end of the quarter. So on any given trade, I could be right and make some money. On any given trade, I could be wrong and lose some money. That is true because I don't know which direction price will go. What I could say is, based on my homework, based on my analysis, based on the tools I'm using, based on the news happening, based on my gut feeling, I believe price is going in a particular direction. And that's fine. I can make that decision. I is That's a decision I can make and only I can make, and no one can make it for me. But what I cannot affect, what I cannot influence, is the direction price will go after I've made that decision based on sound logic, reason, and the tools that I use. So that means I must trade responsibly. That means that as a trader, I'm going to lose at times, and I need to accept that and embrace it. But that doesn't mean trade to lose all of your money. No, it means trade to minimize, to reduce the amount of money I'm willing to lose. Because when I make a decision to take a trade, after I've made that decision and I've executed the entry, what happens after that, in terms of where price goes, I have no control of. So because not only I have no control, I have no guarantee that it will go the way I want it to go. So therefore I have to say, if I'm wrong, I'm willing to take a loss, but I want that loss to be as small as possible. And that's why I need to trade with the stop. So let me read what I have here. Principle of trading: I don't know where price will go. Therefore, I must trade responsibly. That means I cannot influence the direction of price. All I can do is affect how much risk, loss I'm willing to take, and be realistic with rewards profits available through monitored market activity limits. Now, what does that mean? Again, I'm I'm going to have a reason why I'm taking this entry. I've presumably have done my homework. I do at times take instinctual trades without really thinking it through, and that's got to stop. But even if I do that, just I've got a reason, I've got a feeling, and that's fine. Sometimes when it comes to quick activity like this, you have to make quick decision, and that's fine. If you happen to make a quick decision, it's a wrong decision. Again, go back to the principle. I don't know where price will go after I make that decision, and therefore I have to minimize my loss. On the other hand, the profit. Again, through the homework that I've done and the logic that I'm using and the sentiments that I'm seeing, there's gonna be a limit to how far a move will go without it coming back and you giving away all that money that you potentially have earned. So you have to say, I've gotten at a certain level, and if I'm right, this is a level where I'm happy taking my profit. It's a pre-planned thing. It's not an instinctual thing. It's a pre-planned thing based on market sentiments, things that have happened. When I look at the chart and to the bars to the left, the information there, the information on the tools that I use and says, hey, this is the limit of this move for now, and expect it to have some fight back here, and you might want to get out and optimize your profits here. You don't want to give it back. I can control three elements of my trade. I can control the entry, I can control the stop, and I can control the limit. That's all I can do. Now, trade management, which I didn't write about in here, is something that would work the same way that I would work if I wasn't in a position. So if I wasn't in a position, I'd be looking for places, hey, where do I want to get in? And then if I'm wrong, where do I want to get out? So if once I in a position and I feel comfortable and I've taken something off, or I want it to be go for a longer period, or my target hasn't quite hit yet and I'm seeing oscillation and I've hit a first warning sign and I see a little comeback, then I'm gonna say, I'm now going to manage my trade through trailing my stop. I'm either now going to move my stop to break even, or I'm going to move my stop to above break even. And that's going to be following the same principles I use to determine to get in a trade when I'm not in a position. Another thing, I cannot control the speed of which price moves. So if I'm sitting and I'm waiting for an entry to price to come up to an area I want to take an entry, it may happen instantly upon me identifying, hey, this would be a great area to take a trade, or it may take 3 bars, or it may take a day, or it may take an hour or 3 hours, whatever the time period is. I cannot influence how quickly it gets to my entry. I cannot influence how quickly it gets to my stop. I cannot influence how quickly it gets to my limit. All I can do is say, this is where my entry will be, this is where my stop will be, this is where my limit will be. And until they get hit, everything that I thought about that made me want to take that trade is still valid and still in place. Now, once I'm coming up to the entry where I want to get in, a good rule of thumb, or coming up to the limit, sorry, coming up to the limit where I want to get out to take my profits, a good rule of thumb is to wait for the bar to close. Now, whatever the bar may be, I may be monitoring a level on a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart, a 4-hour chart, a daily chart. Whatever it is that I'm choosing, I must adapt and change and bring it all together and wait for bars to close. And then, uh, if I'm going to do a manual execution, um, then do that. There is limit orders that I could place and things like that, and that's if you really believe. Those are for the bigger time frame support and resistance levels where I want to trade off of. But especially when it's time to exit a trade, um, is to wait for a bar to close and do manual execution at the close of a bar or the open of a bar. That's a good rule of thumb to follow. Now, until now I'm taking the time to think about the ideas here before I made this video, and I wrote down these thoughts. I like trading, and I love doing this, and I want to get better now. I'm only gonna get better if I start to behave in the way that I've discussed here. Now, I didn't talk about what it is that's gonna tell me to take an entry. I didn't talk about what it is that's gonna tell me where to place a stop. It didn't talk too much about what's gonna be the reason why I placed the limit. I talked about the before all of that. What is trading? Trading is making a decision, whether it's going to be a right decision or a wrong decision. It is making a decision based on thoughts, based on reason and logic, within my capabilities, and then having three elements to it: an entry, a stop, and a limit. And then once I have that entry, now all I've got to do is monitor and then let things play out. Either my stop will get hit, or my limit will get hit, or targets will be achieved that then allows me to adjust either the stop or the limit. And that's trade management. And that does not happen until after targets have been achieved. And start going forward, if you don't start to live these principles day in, day out, the sustained success I'm looking for, I will not find it. I'm going to finish off this video by reminding myself that trading, there is no guarantees in it. You make a decision and then you live by that decision. But by living by that decision, it doesn't mean being stubborn or unwilling to adapt. It means give it time to play out. Either a stop is going to get hit or a limit's going to get hit. I cannot control for anything other than that. I'm going to leave this video with that.